Good morning, guys. This is really weird. I don't know which one to look at, but we are on both Instagram and Facebook. And hopefully some of you jumped in on Matt's workout. I've had to just spray the lounge because it stinks of Matt's bow. But I'm here to do a little bit of a yoga mobility session with you guys. The style that I do is kind of a hybrid of different types of yoga, and I like to throw in some mobility as well. And it's always good to do a little bit of core. So I'm going to end with some core exercises. Core is kind of worked all the way through. Please take this at your own pace. So if you're finding it a little bit tough, if you've been doing some workouts all week and you need to ease back a little bit, you can just drop into a rest position, you can shake out, you can relax and do some breathing. So we're all in different places right now in terms of how much training you've done this week and what you need today. So what I'm going to ask is that you guys read your body and just ease back if you need to. But if you fancy going out of your comfort zone in some of the stuff that I do, balance work, then just give it a try. It's always good to do new movement. It's so weird, I'm like that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's so good to do new movement. I'm not a big fan of just doing the same old thing that gets easy. It doesn't challenge your body, it doesn't challenge your mind. With exercise, we've got to be trying new stuff. You've got to feel it a little bit the next day, like use some new muscles and stuff. So hopefully I've set up the mat and checked that you can see me. I've got a timer going because I can go on forever with this kind of stuff, but I'm going to try and keep this to about half an hour as well. So if you can, just find a space in your lounge, wherever you are right now, and just stand with your feet about hip width apart. And I just want you to focus on relaxing everything. So think about doing a kind of scan from head to toe. Relax your neck, shoulders, your jaw. Just loosen off in the joints. Soften at the knees as well. So stand with your feet going about hip width apart. And just relax here for a second. And I want you to just think about, we're not going to do loads of breathing exercises, but just start to lengthen your breath a little bit. So it might help to close your mouth. Obviously I can't. And just start to inhale and exhale through your nose. And just gradually start to extend that breath a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but I'm finding across the day, sometimes the chaos just gets to me. My breathing is getting quicker. I'm noticing I'm not kind of breathing into my belly anymore. That's affecting my digestion and my sleep. So it's good to do this across the day. Just stand still, relax, and start to think about inhaling and sending that breath deep into the belly. So start to feel your belly rise and belly fall. Let's try and do a few together. So you're going to inhale through your nose, and then just exhale. Relax everything, soften out. Inhale and exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. Then from here, you're just going to take your head to the side. So just drop the ear to the shoulder. Feel a nice lengthen through the opposite side of the neck. And then if you've gone to the right side, take the right hand and place it on top of the head, just to increase that stretch a little bit. Just ease out the traps. Again, if you're doing lots of kettlebells, press-ups, this is where we tend to get a lot of tension. And then just use the weight of the head to increase that stretch. Now bring your attention to the hand that's hanging down by your side and start to reach that down to the floor. So again, now you'll really feel it open up neck and shoulders a little bit. Keep that breathing going. Inhale and exhale. Just really lengthen through the side of the body. And then change. So other side. Drop the head to the side first, ear towards the shoulder. Place the hand on top. And then just use the hand gently and the weight of the head just to increase that stretch. These fingertips, reach them down to the floor. I don't know about you guys, but I start to look a bit like Tom Hardy after a while. After a few training sessions, I'm like total traps. So again, breathe here, inhale, exhale, reach these fingertips down to the floor. And then just enjoy that lengthen through the side of the body. And then just release your hands to the side. Now you're just going to place hands on the back of the head. Just pop the elbows out to the side. Press the elbows back a little bit just to open up the chest. Just make sure you're not kind of pushing out the chest too much here and getting too much of a curve in the lower spine. So you want to just tuck that pelvis under. You're going to take a nice deep breath in here, and then as you exhale, you're just going to draw the elbows together. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, draw the elbows together. One more time. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, draw the elbows together. Then you're going to release into a cactus arm. So as you can see, just a right angle. We're going to do that again, but this time we're going to take it down to the hips. So just watch me for a second. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, you're just going to bring the hands together, clasp them, draw your elbows down towards your hips, take the chin down onto the chest. And then go back to that start position. Inhale, open up. Exhale, take it forward, round that chin, round the spine, curve your upper body down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take it back down. We're going to do 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take it back down. Hands together. And then just release your arms to the side. We're going to curl down all the way to the floor now, so just kind of roll our spine a little bit. So think about bringing your chin to your chest first. Get a nice stretch down the back of the neck, feel that nice length. And then just slowly, with soft knees, you're just going to round down all the way to the floor, keeping head and neck heavy, all the way until your hands touch the floor. Again, this is just working into the hamstrings nice and gently, but keep everything relaxed, and then slowly come back up. Think about rolling 1 vertebra at a time, so you're very gradually leaving the head and neck till last, coming all the way back up to the top. Just realised I'm hungry. Back down, chin to chest first. Nice length in the back of the head. I've already been out with Hamish for a run. I should have had a banana. Take it down. And then slowly come back up. Just really start to feel the hamstrings warming up a little bit. 1 more time, chin to chest. Roll down. I have shocking hamstrings as a result of all the walking and running with Hamish as well. Okay, we're just going to hang out down here a little bit, so stay in that forward folded position and just start to take hold of the opposite elbow with each hand, so taking a ragdoll. I'm just going to hang out here, so start to think about just swaying side to side, loosen up the lower back, and then we're going to take it up into a halfway lift. So you're just going to bring fingertips either onto the floor and just flatten out the back, or you can do this on the shins. Think about taking the crown of the head forward, and don't lock the knees, but just start to straighten out a little bit so you feel a nice stretch again. Back of the knees, calves. Take an inhale here, and then you're going to exhale and go back to a forward fold. So this time you might want to take back of the ankles, you might want to grab back of the calves, or just creep the fingertips back a little bit and fold the chest down onto the thighs. Inhale, back into that halfway lift. So again, you could be fingertips in this position, you might be a little bit higher, flat back, crown of the head goes forward, or you can just rest on the shins, and then take it back as you exhale into your forward fold. We're going to do 2 more of those. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. And then from here, you're just going to place hands on the floor and sink into a squat. So I know most of you have been squatting with mats, so you're nice and warm, but use your hands to support you. If not, sink the hips down. And then here, this might help to get one of these if you can't sit in that squat position. So it's a yoga wedge, and you can just balance. If your heels are lifted, you can just stick it between you and then just get comfortable in this position. Because what I really want you to do is focus on just bringing your chest up a little bit. So think about lifting up, lengthening through the spine. If you can either bring the hands together, pressing the palms, or you can bring your fists together and just start to push the knees out a little bit, really open up the hips. Again, some of you might be kind of up here, it might feel really uncomfortable, in which case use your hands on the floor, or even take it to the wall. So if you have a wall nearby, you can just sit in this position, at least get into the hips a little bit more. So from here, we're just going to start to go back into our forward fold a couple more times. So you're just going to pop the hands on the floor, gradually straighten out the legs, and then just release into your forward fold, taking the hands behind the calves or the ankles. And then bring the hands in front of you and sink back into your squat. We're just going to make a loop of that movement. Do it 3 more times. So from here, hands go behind, pull down, sink back into your squat. We've been going for nearly 10 minutes. How is that possible? I have no idea. Feels like I've only just got going. Back to your squat. Awesome. Okay, from here, you're just going to place one hand in front of you in that squat position, and then reach the other one up towards the ceiling. Now really focus on using the floor to grip almost, and twist that rib cage, reach up at the same time. So this is an active hand, we're not just kind of hanging out here. Really think about lifting, opening up the chest, and then change. So bring that hand forward, twist, reach, up towards the ceiling, active hand here, and then just come back down. From here, you're just going to drop onto hands and knees now. And we're just going to go through some cat-cow. Most of you will know this movement, so starting off with just a neutral spine. Just going to take an inhale here, and as you exhale, you're just going to arch the spine up to the ceiling, create space between the vertebrae, drop the chin down. And then you're going to inhale, lift the chin, relax the belly down, bring that chest forward, and then just reverse it. Exhale, arch the spine, inhale, bring chin, chest forward. You're going to go for 2 more. Exhale, take it up. Inhale, lift chin, chest. 1 more time. Arch that spine up to the ceiling. And then just come back to that neutral position. From here, just sink your hips back. Again, really think about making this position work for you. So you might want to take the knees a little bit wider. Just going to reach the hands forward, but go onto the fingertips. So we've got TP hands. Just press your chest down a little bit towards your mat. So kind of getting us warm for our downward dog. And then just come back onto all fours. We're just going to warm up our wrists a little bit. So I want you to just take your body weight forward. For those of you that really struggle with body weight because of wrists, this is an opportunity the next however many weeks to strengthen wrists. So start to do more body weight work. The more you start to use it, keep going backwards and forwards here, So sink the hips back and then load the body weight forward. The more we condition them, the stronger those smaller joints will get. And gradually you'll be able to hold plank position for about 10 minutes. 1 more time, sink back, come forward. And then from here, you're just going to twist the hands away from you. So you're actually going to rotate them around so your palms are facing away. And just do that movement again. We're going to sink back into kind of a rest position. At the same time, peeling the palms off and drawing the elbows down towards your mat. So now you're getting a really nice forearm stretch. As most of us are on our phones and laptops most of the day at the moment, this should feel quite nice, just to release out any tension here. Then just come back onto all fours and you're going to go onto your fingertips. Same thing, you're just going to load your body weight forward, just condition your fingers a little bit. And then just come back to a flat hand position. Tuck your toes under and we're just going to lift our knees up. So again, just starting to warm up the wrists here. Just hovering the knees a couple of inches off the mat. This is actually quite a good core exercise. So you should feel your abdominals engaging, waking up a little bit. We're just going to hang out here for a couple more breaths. So keep your breath nice and fluid here. Just make sure you're not holding your breath. And then just drop your knees back down, sink your hips back, and reach your hands forward, have a little rest. So this is your rest position. At any point, if I'm taking it too much or too far for you, you just sink back to this position, hang out here. This is where we should be. Different occasions across the day. If the day gets too much for you, just come to child's pose with the hands forward, or you can have the hands just relaxed by your side, head down on your mat. How many of your children are actually in this position? That's the question I have. We don't have children, but I don't think they spend much time in that position, from what I've heard. Okay, nice and slowly, you're just going to come back into that all fours position. Tuck toes under. We're going to hover the knees again. So feel that core engage. This time, you're going to lift the right foot and take the heel up towards the ceiling and just hold it here at a right angle. So here, you're just going to start to engage hamstrings, glutes, core. It's pretty tricky. If it feels too much, bring it back down. If you're still with me, hold it just for 1 more breath. Come back down. Change sides. Lift, take it up. 90 degrees, hold it. Press that heel up to the ceiling. I like to slow a lot of the yoga and mobility stuff down so that you just know you're using all the right muscles. And also you're building a little bit of stamina and endurance. Take it back down. Drop the knees. Sink the hips back. Okay, from here we're going to go straight into just some mini press-ups here, just to get you used to, ready for kind of a chaturanga type movement. So you're just going to come up onto all fours. You might need to shuffle your knees back Draw your elbows in, stay on the knees for now, and you're just going to lower your chest all the way down to the floor and then press back to that rest position. So straight back. You can do that again. So come up into basically press up position on your knees, draw the elbows in but with control. So practice keeping almost like a plank, shoulders, hips and knees in one line, lower your chest down to the floor, press back to rest position. 2 more. From here, draw the elbows in, lower, with control. If you're really strong, just enjoy doing this really slowly. Back to rest position. 1 more time, come forward. Lower it down. I should move that wedge really. Ooh, sorry, a bit of music for you there. And then back to your rest position. Everyone keeps asking about the guitar. It was a present to me from my brother. Just hang out in rest position for a few breaths. Because I said I wanted to learn guitar, like basically U2, Bono, The Edge, and it was going to be my mindful hobby. That was 3 years ago and I haven't done anything since. So maybe in the next 3 months someone can teach me online. I'll trade yoga if you can teach me how to play that thing. Right, from here you're just going to lift knees off and we're going to push up into our first downward dog. So tuck toes under, lift your knees, hover for a second. Take an inhale, then as you exhale, straighten out the legs, take that chest down towards the thighs, press back into your first downward dog. Once you're here, you're just going to pad the feet 1 by 1. Again, just working into the hamstrings. I should check that you guys can hear me. So stay in your downward dog, stay padding your feet. Okay, I think everyone can hear me. Anyone tell me if there's any problems? It looks like everything is okay. Right, I'll carry on. So in your downward dog position, you're now just going to sway the hips side to side. So from here, think about keeping hands and feet where they are, sway the hips, just working down the side body. And then slowly just roll over the shoulders into high plank position. Now plank position, I want you to think about tucking your pelvis under, drawing your shoulder blades down into the back so you're nice and strong. And we're just going to hang out here for a second. We're going to make this position really work for us by squeezing thighs, squeezing glutes, making sure we're drawing the belly button to the spine. I'm going to keep talking because we're going to keep holding. So this is when I mentioned it really helps you to build stamina in things like your wrists, those tiny joints. For me, when I don't train, I lose my strength in my smaller joints and then I have to start all over again building them up. So the more you're holding these bodyweight positions, especially loading on top of the joint, so the force of gravity is kind of going down on top of it, we build stronger bones, stronger tendons, ligaments, everything. So again, if you have osteoporosis, it's so important that you do this kind of stuff. So mini lesson, I'm just trying to distract you as I get you to hold this plank position just for a little bit longer. And then you're just going to drop your knees down. We're going to lower down towards the mat. With control, draw those elbows in. Again, do this slowly. This is when we build strength on this phase as we lower to the floor. And then just release. So here, pop the hands by your side. Just lower one side of your head down to your mat. And just take some breaths here. Just adjusting my mat. So think about, I'm just coming up to the camera, really now think about just making that breath a little bit longer, breathing into your belly. Everyone still seems to be here, seems to be okay. Make the most of the mini rest. I used to have a client that would always go, mini break, can we have a mini break? So this is your mini break. Okay, from here, you're just going to come up onto your forearms into Sphinx position. And then think about in this position here, so a bit like you're doing a plank, shuffle your hips a little bit further towards your elbow. And then just you're on the top of the feet here, just think about lengthening through the spine. Really enjoy how this feels, just opening up the front body here, so nice abdominal stretch. Now it's up to you, you can either do this on your knees, or you can tuck your toes under. We're going to lift into a forearm plank. So if you have any problems with your lower back, be really careful with this. I suggest you do it on your knees or just work your way into plank normally. If you want to stay with me, you're just going to lift up your body into a forearm plank. Hold it here. And then you're just going to lift into a high plank. So you're going to place one hand under the shoulder Then the other hand under the shoulder. Take a deep breath in here, and then as you exhale, you're going to push back into your downward dog again. So from here in our downward dog position, we're just going to vary this up a little bit. Have a little sway, move around here if you want to. We're just going to dip the knees down towards the mat. So as you take the knees down, everything else stays in the same position. And then go back into your downward dog, press the heels down, press the chest. Let's do that 3 more times. So with control, lower your knees down. You can tap the floor if you want to. And then go back to your downward dog. Adjust if you need to, so make it a little bit wider. Try and make sure shoulders, hips and knees staying. Sorry, what am I doing? I'm talking about plank here. Try and make sure you've got a straight line from your shoulder down to your hands. And then from your hips down to your ankles as well. 1 more time. And then you're just going to roll over the shoulders into that high plank position. Now this time it's up to you. You can drop to your knees or you can stay with me. We're going to lower down in the plank position. So tuck that pelvis under. We're going to hang out here for a second, keep everything nice and strong. I'm going to keep talking to distract you. And then in a second we're going to lower as one unit, so shoulders, hips, knees, staying in one line all the way down to the mat. We're going to take 8 seconds to do that lowering phase. So we're going to do it with control. Now if you need to do it on your knees, let's take it down. So draw the elbows in. 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your arms to the side. Place your head down, this time opposite direction. I can't because I'm going to turn away from the camera. And just take a few breaths there. So same thing again, this is where you start to think about extending your breath, breathe into your belly, relax everything, lose that tension from your shoulders, neck, recover, mini break, mini break. I seem to be moving. Okay, now we're going to go back up, your choice. So from here, just draw the fingers down underneath the shoulders. Now you can either do this on your knees, or you can do this as a full body push. So from here, we're going to go back into high plank position. Tuck in the toes under. First of all, squeeze your legs, squeeze your core. Well, squeeze your bum, hold your core. 3, 2, 1, we're going to push up into high plank. And then from here, take an inhale and then just exhale back into your downward dog. So from here, we're just going to walk the feet to the hands. Hopefully you can still hear me. But I want you to do it with tiny steps. So take a small step and really think about pressing the heel into the mat once you've planted that foot. This is again just working a little bit more into ankles. So start to walk nice and carefully. You'll get to a point where it feels a bit icky. And then in which case, you're just going to release into a ragdoll. So release the hands off the mat, grab hold of the opposite elbow, and just hang out here. Whew. Then release your hands down. We're going to roll up to standing, so soften knees and just come up nice and slowly. Head and neck is last. All the way back up to the top. Just do a nice shoulder roll in that top position, just to open up. And just have a little shake out. Okay, last bit of slightly trickier stuff, and then we're going to take it to the floor and just do some really nice hamstring work. So from here, we're going to take it into a chair position. So it's kind of like a squat. You're going to have your feet, you can either be feet touching or just slightly narrower than hip width, so it's a little bit more challenging. You're going to take an inhale, reach the arms overhead, bring the palms together, and then exhale, sink your hips back down into a chair. So it's kind of like a squat position, just pushing the hips back, trying to work thighs pretty much parallel to the floor, and you're just going to hold it here. Now if this again feels a little bit tense, you can go take cactus arm, or you can just reach your hands forward here. So I want you to try and just do it so that there isn't too much tension in your upper body. You're sinking your hips back, engaging your core. Just hang out here for a little bit longer. And then just with control, nice and slow, we're going to go up. Draw that belly button in, take your time, use all your stabilizers to come back to the top. Take a deep breath in here, and then exhale, you're just going to sink back down again into that chair position. This time going a little bit deeper if you can. Now staying here, you're just going to go, shift the weight into the left foot and go onto the tiptoe of the right foot. Now you might want to hang out here, just stay with it, but if you can, you're then going to lift that foot completely off. So the right foot is now off, and you're going to draw it to your chest and stand up again. Holding here, draw it to your chest, hold. Again, if you want to stay in chair or just have a little break, do that. If you're still with me, try extending that leg out in front. Hold it. Now if you need to, just drop out of this position, have a little rest. If you're still with me, we're going to go into Warrior 3. So in Warrior 3, you're going to draw the knee to the chest and take that leg now behind you, reaching the arms forward. You're going to take the chest down towards the floor. Again, kind of a T shape here. It is a T shape. And we're going to hold. Think about making sure your hips are facing the floor, so like two headlights shining down, reaching those hands forward. Extend that leg back. I'm kind of touching the wall. And then with control, we're going to come back up, drawing the knee to the chest, back to your standing position, hold it, place it back down on the floor, and then just have a little shake out. Whew. So we're just going to do that on the other side. I am actually moving back somehow. So same thing on the other side now. So take a nice deep breath, reach arms up, bring the palms together, exhale, sink down into your chair. All that on the other side. So this time weight goes into right foot, or whichever one you didn't do last time. Go onto the tiptoe. This might be enough for you. You might just want to stay in chair and then have a little rest. If you're still with me, you're going to lift that foot off, hover it above the floor, and then gently come up to a standing position. Draw that knee to the chest, hold. As you're drawing the knee to the chest, you should feel your core engaging. So ab muscles are basically helping you out here to hold this position. Extend the leg out in front of you. I actually hate this move, it's like my nemesis. My quads just go, oh my God. Ugh. Okay, we're going to go into Warrior 3. Have a rest if you need to have a rest. If you're still with me, I'll just shuffle around so you can see. That extended leg is now going to go behind you. You're going to reach the arms forward, and you're going to take it down into your T shape, chest down to the floor. Extend that leg, keep everything active. So these hands are reaching, active. That leg is reaching as well. Hold it. And then just draw that knee to the chest. Slowly come back up to your standing position. Hold it here for a second if you want. And then pop it back down and just shake out your legs. So release everything, shake out your whole body in fact. Get rid of any tension. Okay, we're going to take it down onto the floor. You'll be pleased to know I'm always at 30 minutes already. So from here, let's just take a quick back bend actually. Just inhale the arms overhead. And you're just going to reach behind you. So again, keeping the hands in line with the shoulders. Just gently think about taking it back for a nice front body stretch. Don't let this go into your lower back so you can squeeze your glutes. But think about reaching for the ceiling as well as backwards. And then just come back to center. Let's take it over to the side. So I'm going to head over to the right. This is going to be your left. Same thing, reach. Get a nice stretch all the way down that left side. Back to center. Other side. Keep the hands apart for now. Just again, so we've got a nice open chest. And then just come back to center. Release them down to your side. Okay, we're going to take it back to the floor. So chin to chest, we're going to roll down just because it's really nice to create space between the vertebrae. And just be heavy and relaxed here. So taking it down, nice and slow, all the way to the floor. Once you get here, place the hands on the floor. Sink into your deep squat again. Have a little bounce here just to open up the hips, really gentle. Again, you could be doing that against the wall if you need to. And then nice and slowly, you're just going to make your way onto your bum. My challenge to you guys is try and do it without your hands. So think about rolling back onto the heels and lowering down with control. Use your core. Slowly drop onto the bum and then just extend the legs out in front of you. Whew. Okay, from here, We're just going to do a little bit of dynamic hamstring stretching first. So legs extended. Think about, again, just don't force pressing the knees towards the floor, but just make sure they are kind of, extended essentially. And then all you're going to do with hamstring stretching, a lot of the time everyone thinks the goal is nose to knee. Looks quite impressive on some photos. But I actually want you to focus on keeping length in the spine, so your body's going to stay nice and tall. And you're going to kind of hinge from the hips forward so that you really do work into the back line of the legs, hamstrings, back of the knees, calves. So first of all, think about lengthening. You can grab hold of your thighs here, lengthen up first, and we're going to glide our small fingers along the floor. So place them on the floor. It might be at your knees, you might be at your thighs, it really depends how flexible you are. And then just start to think about gliding them forward, but keeping this nice straight upper body. So you can see here I've got length in the spine. So this means I can just mainly feel I'm isolating the back of the legs. I'm not using upper body at this point in time. So start to just gradually increase the range. So if you can take it a little bit further. The great thing about fingers on the floor here is you can see I'm kind of getting to my ankles. So you can then think about going a bit further. Again, try not to lose, I just noticed I was rounding then. Try not to lose that length. Try not to lose the length in the spine, so keeping that nice and straight. And then we're just going to go for something a little bit more static. So we're just going to do a full hamstring stretch. You might want to grab a strap or dressing gown belts are good for this, over the ball of the feet. If you can actually reach to your hands, to your feet, you can grab hold of them, or you can grab the back of the ankles instead. Now remember, get that length back in the upper body first. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, just bend the elbows and draw the chest down towards the thighs. Try and relax your head and neck. Whenever my dad does this stretch, his entire face changes. He's like, so just check in with your facial expression. If you're like that, you're not really stretching. It should be, everything is nice and relaxed to be able to work into this back line. So inhale, exhale, maybe increase it a little bit more. One more breath, inhale, exhale, take it down. And then just slowly release. Now you're just going to draw one foot in, so I'm going to do my left foot, drawing it in towards your hips. Keep the right one extended, and this is where we will do a little bit more of a kind of forward fold, taking the head down to the knee. So again, you can either use your strap here, or you can just grab hold of the foot, grab hold of the ankle, whatever you like. Reset the hips a little bit here as well, so making sure they're parallel. Take a deep breath in, and then just fold over that extended leg. So again, think about taking the elbows down to the floor. Now we're going to round the spine a little bit more. So you might feel this working a little bit more into the calves as well. Take an inhale, exhale, fold. One more breath, inhale, exhale, fold. And then just come back up, nice and slowly. Draw that foot in, so you've just got a cross-legged position, and we're just going to take a twist here. So one hand going in front, one hand going behind. Just rotate your upper body. So if you've got your left hand in front, you're just going to rotate over to the right. Think about moving the rib cage here as well. And then change. So right hand's now in front, we're going to twist to the left, but again, it's rib cage. And then come back to center. Just extend your left leg now, draw your right one in. And we're going to do that forward fold, that single leg forward fold again. So think about taking hold of the foot or grabbing hold of the ankle, whatever it might be, or your strap. Lengthen in the spine. Inhale, exhale, fold down. Take those elbows towards the floor. Relax the neck. Don't be like my dad, basically. And again, inhale, exhale, fold. Let's do one more breath here. Inhale, exhale, fold. And then just release it back. From here, you're just going to place the feet out in front of you with your knees up, and you're just going to let them fall to the side. Now if you look, I've got 90-90 here with the feet. So one heel is touching the knee. Often when I do this in class, people stack their knees on top. You want to make sure you've got that nice space, because we're going to roll over on the hips and do that on the other side. Again, if this feels too much, I'm doing it without my hands. Pop the hands behind you just to give you a little bit of support, and just take that movement side to side. If you watch kids do this, they are pros. They can sit in that position so easily because they've not been stuck at a desk for 30 years. Okay, we're just going to build on this movement. So drop down to one side, so I've kind of fallen over to the left. You can take the left hand behind you, and then you're just going to reach the opposite hand up to the ceiling and press up the hips towards the ceiling. And then come back down and change sides. And we're going to make a loop of that movement. So roll to the other side. For on the right side, the right hand is now behind me. I'm going to reach the left one up to the ceiling and press my hips. Really nice front and side body stretch. And then I'm just going to make that flow. So keep going with that. We're going to do 2 more on each side. Other side. 1 more on each side. You can start to circle the arms as well. Just again, release the shoulders. Other side. And then just come back to center. From here, you're just going to place the feet out in front of you again. This time we've got 90 degrees. Balancing on the heels, we're just going to do a little bit of core work. So from here, you're just going to place the hands in front of you. What I'm going to suggest is that you place them on your shoulders with your elbows extended out, because I want you to keep your spine nice and tall. We're just going to practice taking our body back here. Now the reason we're in this position is we're just making the core do all of the work here. So when we kind of crunch, we tend to use a lot of our upper body. So I want you to take that out of the equation. You can either do hands on the temples and keeping the elbows back, or pop them on the shoulders so that you don't get any tension in the head or neck or shoulders. So we're going to take it back here. We're going to hold it for about 4 seconds. This should feel quite tricky because we're basically just making this our core. All of our core muscles do all the work here. 3, 2, 1, come back so that your elbows are just over your knees. Have a little breath here, and then we're going to take it back again. So lowering down. Now you can have straight legs here as well if you want to, if you're feeling, depends, sometimes people prefer it to have their legs bent or straight, it's up to you. Both are going to work your core, so long as you're not collapsing in the upper body, you're keeping that nice and straight, going back. You can hook your feet on a bell or under the sofa, that's kind of supporting you, but if you need to, do that as well. Come back up. We're going to do that 1 more time, take it down, keep the upper body tall. Go as far as you can, but don't lose that length in the spine. 3, 2, 1, come back. Let's do 1 more. The funny thing about this is everything starts shaking. And I always think my chins, everything starts shaking. Sometimes you have no control. But it's good. If it's shaking, it's working. 3, 2, 1, come back up. Nice. From here, release your hands by your side. And we're just going to lift, plant the feet on the floor, you're going to lift into a reverse tabletop. So you're going to take the hips up to the ceiling, here. Again, if you need to kind of rest out your wrists at any point, just do. But think about really opening up in the chest and shoulders here, so lift the hips up. Make sure your head and neck is neutral, so you're not kind of dropping down here, but you're also not straining it up here, so it's kind of in a neutral position. And then you're just going to lower down nice and slowly. Pop your bum on the floor and then just lift your feet up. Now if you can either have them at 90 degrees or you can straighten them out. I've still got my hands on the floor here, and we're just going to do some leg lowers. So with control, we're going to lower down to the floor and then lift back up using your core. 4 more times. Lower, keeping the hands on the floor just to lose any tension in that upper body. Nice. Give me 2 more. Lift, squeeze at the top. Again, if you're feeling this more in your legs, bend your knees and you can just tap the feet on the floor and lift up to that 90 position. Whoops. Last one. Lower it down, lift, squeeze, and then just release. Place the feet on the floor and lift back into that reverse tabletop. Squeeze your bum, lift your hips up, open up in the shoulders, neutral neck. And then just nice and slowly come back down. We are nearly done, guys. I know, 40 minutes. I don't know how I've done that. From here, you're just going to release the hands from the floor, and we're just going to extend one leg out and draw one leg towards us. Now think about pulling this knee towards you and using your core to pull that knee. So you're using your abdominals to pull it a little bit closer. At the same time, the leg that's extended, think about pressing the heel away. Now when you feel that knee pull and that heel press away, you'll feel your core engage a little bit more. Kind of wakes it up a little bit. Now change, pull one in, extend the other away. Now do it actively, knee, heel, pull, push. One more on each side, change. You can have your hands on the floor, by the way, if this is feeling a bit hard, or you can just have them out here. Push and pull at the same time. Last side, change. Pull the knee towards you, press that heel away, and then just release. Now from here, just pop the feet on the floor. We're going to roll down onto our backs. We are almost done. I want you to think about reaching your hands forward, and then you're just going to take your time with this. So with control, we're going to lower down, but the point of taking our time and making it slow is your abs are your brake. So your core is going to control as you lower onto the mat. Think about making contact with your lower back first, very slowly, mid back, finally your upper back. And then just draw your knees in towards your chest, and then just think about hugging them a little bit. So as you pull them with your hands, so pop the hands on the knees, pull them, and your lower back will lift off the mat slightly. It's just a nice way to release it. Just do some knee circles here, so think about taking them out to the side. And then change the direction. And then from here, you're just going to place the right foot down, pop the left foot on top of the right knee, and then you're either going to reach through and grab the back of the right thigh, or you can go round and grab the front of the knee. Again, just a nice one to work into ITB, so the side muscle here, especially if you've been out for a run this morning, this is going to be a good one to do. Then relax your head back. So again, try to relax the rest of your body and focus on your breathing now. So inhale, and as you exhale, think about drawing that right knee towards the body. Sometimes people like to just kind of push on the opposite knee a little bit as well. One more breath here, inhale. Exhale, draw that knee towards the body. And then just release from that stretch. Again, just do some knee circles just to release the hips. And then we're going to do it on the other side. So from here, placing the left foot down, right foot goes on the knee. You can reach through, depending on your flexibility, outside the knee or thigh, whichever one you prefer, and then just relax everything back. Great one to do whilst you're watching TV. Anything where you can just lie and focus on your breathing is always good to do. I've got a bit more time now watching TV. Inhale. As you exhale, draw those elbows in. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Take it a little bit further if you can. And then just release from there. We're just going to take a happy baby to finish. So you're grabbing hold of your feet here, outside the feet, and then think about taking them to a 90-degree angle. Again, if that feels too much, you grab back the ankles, you could even do back of the calves, and just think about pulling the knees down towards the underarm a little bit, open up the hips, and then just rock side to side. So you're just going to massage that lower back, side to side. And then we're just going to finish by rocking into a seated position, but we're going to do it a few times. So release from here, draw the knees into the chest, and think about just rocking backwards and forwards, so a bit of a spine roll. Just massage that lower back. Now if you have a back problem, I'm going to suggest that you just leave it here and just work your way into a seated position. But if you want to go a little bit further, you can think about just rocking up into that seated position and then taking it back down. It's quite good to challenge yourself not to put your feet down, have a little go at that. So again, come up and challenge your core. Now here is another challenge. Now you may just want to chill out here. If you've been doing all of Matt's workouts, you can just leave it here. But if you want to try rocking into a squat, that's always good fun. So from here, rock forward into a squat position, and then go back with control. It's quite, I will say, it's easy for me. I've got very flexible ankles. So if you have restrictions in the ankles and the calves, it's something to work towards. But doing that rocking into a squat, you can use your hands to support you. Okay, let's just finish off in a seated position here. Again, cross-legged, just relax everything. We're just going to do some final work on our neck just to finish. So think about just bringing the chin forward onto the chest. Enjoy that length in the back of the neck. And then just lift the chin up to the ceiling. Nice stretch all in the chest area as well. Take it back down. Lift it up again. One more time. And now just take it side to side. So then again, relax your shoulders down and then think about dropping the ear to the shoulder. Don't lift the shoulder to the ear. Other side. Hear all sorts of noises when I do this. Keep it going side to side. Last one, the hardest one for me. I want you to look over your shoulder. So think about taking the chin behind you. Try and look behind you. And then do that on the other side. Often this is where we get a little bit jammed up because we're just always looking forward. And we're just going to finish with some circles. These can make you a bit dizzy, so be careful. You can take the chin down and then just loop it round to the side, up to the ceiling, all the way back round. Back to that forward position and then reverse it, out to the side, up to the ceiling. One more on each side, each direction. Other way. And that is it, guys. You are done. Oh my goodness, it was 47 minutes in the end. I swear it was going to be like 30, but there we go. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any requests, any questions, need any further help, just let us know. We're going to jump on and do as many of these things as we possibly can, obviously whilst looking after our own kind of self-care routine as well. Matt's going to be absolutely ripped at the end of all of this, I think, with the rationing and the real-time workouts. Few of you just saying you loved it, amazing, thank you so much for taking part. This is actually my first ever proper live yoga, so hopefully it was okay. Take care, please get in touch. We have just opened 365 up for a month free if you want to join us in our private group, and membership site's got more workouts on there as well, but we will be showing up as much as we can to help you guys. Take care. I know this is really a hard time for all of us, but stay strong. Show us what you're made of, and just look after one another as much as you can. Bye bye. Now I've got to try and press all these.